It's Monday, September 11th, 2023, and I'm a little under the weather. I'm not sick. I refuse to be sick, but I'm not at 100%. So I want to bring you in to the studio, and I'm going to bring in a few guests this show. Most importantly, we're going to kick off the show with something very important, and that is September 11th Memorial, 9/11. Yeah, I want to talk about that, and I'm going to bring someone into the studio to do that. That's in New York. So without further ado, retired Sergeant Jose Camacho, Toronto Police Service. Hello there.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Come on, it should have happened a long time ago. I can't believe you're only appearing here for the first time today, but it is a good reason to have you on. Normally I'd be with you in New York for this occasion.
Yes, you would.
And it's been a while since I have been there, and I look forward to one day joining you again. But you're in New York right now, representing all of us.
Yes, I am just one of about 11 members of Toronto Police, both retired and still serving, as well as members and the directors of the Toronto Police Association, who have been standing with us pretty much from day one in support of this worthwhile trip that we do every year.
It's amazing. I remember when we used to have 200 members that would go down every year, and it's obviously gone down. What's it feel like down there today?
Obviously, it's a different year. It's 22 years after those tragic events that took place on September 11th. But the city itself today is, you can tell, walking around, it's very somber. People still remember, people still pay tribute to those who lost their lives 22 years ago. As much as, yes, we used to take 200 people, we keep it kind of small in the, how would you say, the in-between years. But I promise you this, the 25th anniversary, we will be kicking this thing up to hopefully bring a Canada Loves New York flavor back into it again, Sean.
Well, I will be there for the 25th.
I'm holding you to that, my friend.
You do that because I'll be there. I need to go to New York. I miss New York. I'm sure New York misses me in some way. But I love it, and I really, it's been so important for me and made such an impact on me going all those years. And yeah, New York's a big part of my heart. So anything you want to tell people?
No, right now, as you can see, I am in the van just waiting. I left. I sent the crew out to look after themselves, get some breakfast and so forth. We have just actually in between our two events this year. We are waiting for the Commonwealth Memorial, which is held at the Queen Elizabeth II Memorial Gardens here at Hanover Square. So they're just setting that up, and we're getting ready for that at 11 o'clock. Earlier this morning, bright and early, we were at One Police Plaza to participate in their memorial for the 23 NYPD fallen officers. So we've got our full day today. After this, we're going to head over to Ground Zero and pay our respects there in a more private and intimate way, as opposed to being part of the larger, which is strictly more than mostly family orientated event. So it's good. We got a couple of new members that are this year was their first year, and we've obviously got some of the older ones here. So we're hoping to share with them the things that we've been going through over the last 22 years being down here.
Well, please share a hello from me and thank them for coming out and doing what they're doing and representing all of us who can't make it this year. And for those who are asking, because I see in the chat people are saying, who is this person? This is Sergeant Jose Camacho of the Toronto Police Service, retired, but still representing strong.
Thank you. I hope you're able to take about 20 pounds off my face there when you're showing us.
I'll see if I can edit it. No, you
Okay,
look
brother.
great. You look great. Okay, with that, I'll let you do your thing. We'll be safe out there. And again, thanks for dropping in.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Catch you later. Okay. That was Sergeant Jose Camacho, and again now retired, but he's been organizing this trip for 22 years, and doing a great job of it. And yeah, we thank him. We'll talk to you soon, Jose. And yeah, itchy nose. Okay, things to talk about. He jumped in right at the start, so we didn't have a chance to tell you all the other things. But I didn't want to leave him waiting on hold. That wouldn't be cool. I wonder what long distance is for video from New York City. Anyway, we are doing that thing we do every day, which is Ask a Traffic Cop. That show on the internet that allows you to ask a traffic cop questions. And I'm that traffic cop. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service, and I go live Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Now, things are going to be changing. I know. I don't want to scare you, but things are going to change just a little bit. On Wednesdays, when we join Jerry Agar, we're going to start later, not earlier. We're going to start at 10:30. We're going to go right till noon. We're going to do that because Jerry's schedule has changed, so we're changing to accommodate. And then we want to try and do some afternoon, evening stuff. So we're going to try experimenting with a few different times. So what's the purpose of me mentioning it? Go and make sure you're following us on traffic services, on Voice Over Cop on Twitter. I announce our show times every day, at very least the day before, so that you get that heads up and you can schedule your life around us because we're important. If you're currently watching, you're probably watching on one of these platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and the platform formerly known as Twitter, now known as X. And what's the story with that? You can ask questions on basically any of them except Twitter, X Twitter. Anyway, you can't ask questions on that platform. Why? It doesn't work. It used to work, doesn't work anymore. But if you go to TrafficCop.ca or YouTube.TrafficCop.ca, you will be popped over to our YouTube channel where you can watch. And of course, you can follow us and subscribe and get notified by all these things because we go live all the time. And actually, we go live sometimes impromptu, they're impromptu lives just because. In any case, we'd love to have you join for all of those wonderful events. And also know that once these lives are done, in terms of we've hit end, I hit download. I do a little bit of editing to make sure we all sync up, but then I upload it to Spotify and all the podcasting platforms, so you can listen to us while you're driving safely and not burning your data, because that's important. But follow us everywhere. All right, we have Tim Shallow who says good morning. We've got Zombie with a good morning. Michael wants to know who the guest is, and hopefully we covered that for you. Evan, thank you for this. Big salute to all heroes who fought the 9/11, from firefighters to police, and those who died. We will pray for you every day. God bless. Thank you, Evan. That's your kind words. Leo, my wife, who is helping to moderate, is saying that it was good to see him, and it was good to see him. Jose is a good friend, and I used to go on every year to that event. It was a big part of my routine. Good people. All right. The Grinch says good morning, coming in from Twitch. It says no change. Change. We'll keep it, at very least. We'll keep the majority of them 10 o'clock, I think. But anyway, we'll talk about it. This is a show for you, so we'll discuss these big changes. We'll try things out, and at the end of the day, we will talk. We'll take it slow. Don't want to shock anybody. I can't handle change. Question coming on from TikTok, and if you notice that Leo wife is asking a whole bunch of questions, that's because she's taking your questions from TikTok and funneling them over so I can answer them over on the other channels. So you'll see Leo wife come up a lot. It's my wife asking on your behalf. Don't harass anyone in the chat, please. No spam. We have a spam is to be in a can, but no, not a chat. Amazingly, customer service, being 100%, if you ask it a number of times, you'll probably get a warning saying, hey, we've already put it in the queue, and he'll get to it. Because I do my best. I also have hot tea here. Hopefully that will help me maintain my voice for the entire show. A little ASMR slurpy tea. All right. So, will police pull me over for 5% tint? I've been passing cops and haven't been pulled over. Will they? Depends. Depends on the cop, depends on whether or not they notice, depends if they've got something else more important to do. It's not the highest priority reason to pull someone over. It's still a reason to pull someone over. It's an unsafe motor vehicle at that point. I'd pull your license plates and take you off the road, and you'd be taking the bus home. That's me. I look for tint. We should all be looking for tint, but we also focus our efforts on speeders, aggressive drivers, distracted drivers, and impaired drivers, because those are statistically the ones leading the behaviors that lead to serious injury and death. If I catch you speeding and you happen to have tint, you're going to get both. But have I pulled someone over just for tint? Absolutely, and I do it again. All right, let's little thing that I forgot, a little piece of business I forgot to mention, and that is Vision Zero Enforcement Team. Yes, they are out there, and they're actually out there all the time. But what are they doing out there? Well, they are out there looking for those speeders, aggressive drivers, distracted drivers, and impaired drivers. Today, they are in 32 Division and 51 Division. That's Downsview, Willowdale, Newtonbrook, Bathurst Manor, St. Jamestown, Cabbagetown, Riverdale, Church and Young, neighborhoods where real people live, work, and play and deserve to be safe. So they're out there changing drivers behavior one ticket at a time. And we hope that a ticket will have the effect that it's designed to do. It's not about money. It's not about filling the government coffers. It's about giving you that not so nice feeling that reminds you that you shouldn't be doing what you did. And hopefully it's the last time you ever get a ticket. And that would be the perfect situation. If you change your behavior based on that, we're golden. If you keep doing it, you need more, attention. And then you get more tickets. Yeah. How much tint is required to your vehicle? No tint is required. You shouldn't have any tint on your car. But I get it. There's picking your nose in private desires. I get it. You don't want people looking. People are self-conscious. They're also reducing solar load is a real thing. But more often than not, I think it's privacy that people are after. And I find it funny. Or at least I find making fun of tint funny. My own personal joy here. The deal is that 30% light blockage is the maximum amount of light that you can block. You have to have 70% luminescence. Now, what does that mean? It means 70% of the light has to get through the window. To be certified, that does not mean it's legal all the time. If it's dark outside and I can't see you, that's illegal. You cannot obscure the interior of your motor vehicle with color or reflective coatings, aka film tint or other words for it. There you go. We have a question about mopeds. Can I drive a 50cc moped with no plates, and do I need an M license to do so? Yes, you need plates. Yes, you need insurance. Yes, you need an M-class license, but you could have you can get the M, is it L? Low power designation. I can't remember what the low power designation letter is. In any case, it's a motor vehicle. And once upon a time, you used to be able to take a moped licensed and insured, but with a G-class license, and it changed, I think, in 2007. And now you have to have a actual motorcycle license. Yesterday, and I'm going to post this video later this morning, I was editing it while I was on the treadmill this morning, and I was then told, if you can edit video while you're on a treadmill, you're not doing enough. And I'm like, I'm doing what I can do. But anyway, not only am I not feeling great, but I'm also sore. So doing what I can do. But I have video of someone on a small motorcycle, small diameter, looks like a mini-ish bike, who ran a red light while running in the bicycle lane. Like, it was just a mess. So I'm going to post that video after the live. Back to that is definitely you need to have it properly licensed, insured, plated, and so on. Does speeding tickets or trespassing have any effect on becoming a police officer? Yes and yes. If you want to be a police officer, but you're being charged under the Trespass to Property Act, that could be a problem. Why? You have to really articulate why you were not leaving when you were told to leave, because that's usually what happens before you are actually charged, or you were involved in some conduct that it's just not good. Now, if you were a kid 20 years ago and did that, you could say that, you were a kid who didn't behave, but you learned from your mistakes and you're now a law-abiding citizen. Speeding tickets, you have to have less than 6 demerit points on your license according to the careers page. And let me bring that wonderful and majestic careers page up. To get that page, you go to www.tps.ca/careers. And what's going on here? Oh, I have to press a button to bring it on. There we go. Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's the setting that I'm on. Well, that's actually cool. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Interesting. Okay. a new default. Usually it just goes full screen and I disappear. Anyway, careers. Here we go. If you're interested in police constable, you click the police constable. We haven't done this in a while. It feels like we haven't done this in a while. Anyway, big button for apply now. You should totally hit that button once you're ready. But where do we have it? It is no criminal convictions for which a pardon has not been granted, and possess a valid driver's license with no more than 6 accumulated demerit points, permitting you to drive an automobile in Ontario with full driving privileges. There you go. That is the deal. Now, we are obviously looking for all sorts of different applicants, but civilian roles is one I always like to focus on because people don't consider civilian roles or don't take into consideration that we have so many different civilian roles available. What do we have here? Oh, Yippee program. Yes, Youth and Policing Initiative Winter Spring After School Hybrid Program. That is something that if you live in a certain neighborhood and you're of the appropriate age, you can apply essentially for a part-time job. $16.65 an hour. Yeah, you have to live in a particular neighborhood to qualify, and you apply, and it's a good opportunity. Okay, I don't have enough background to really speak to the opportunity in depth. We'll have to get someone from the program to come in and chat about it. I think it'll make a great episode for the podcast, not for the live stream. Criminal intelligence analyst, job evaluation consultant in labor relations. We still have a posting for armorer, and intermediate technical analyst in radio infrastructure. So if any of those sound like you, hit a button, check it out, and then make an application. September 13th is the deadline for the job evaluation consultant. 111 to 128, almost $129,000 job. Yeah, it's worth your attention. I think it's easy to say it's worth your attention. All right. If advanced left ends and you turn before regular traffic starts, is it stunt driving? So you are turning on a red light just before regular traffic has an opportunity to go. If it was red and then it is, no, if you are turning and it is green for you but then turns red, you're running a red. If it is it could possibly be interpreted as stunt driving, but it's one of those unusuals. Usually it's when all traffic is stopped, it turns red or is about to turn red and you hit the gas and you go. That is when it is clearly going to be considered stunt driving. What you're proposing is a little strange. I don't think it would be stunt driving. You're already in motion. You're going. I think you'd just be running a red light. Now I have to have this deep conversation with my colleagues to see what they, how they interpret it. We'll have to come back to this. This is cool. I like when we have questions that I don't have a specific answer for, where it doesn't just, black and white. All right, Michael says 5% blockage of light going through windshield on a 2017 and newer vehicle must be, okay, yes, 0. If I didn't talk about it earlier, no tint is permitted on the windshield of a motor vehicle. I neglected to mention that earlier. Thank you, Michael, for covering off. Stephen Bell says, hi, good morning, and I'm sorry I'm late. No apology necessary, but great to have you. Question from hello? No, question. Hello, is it legal to put stickers on taillights, but you can still see the light? Stickers on taillights? Stickers that tint the taillight, or stickers that prevent light from getting through? It really depends on what we're talking about here. At the end of the day, your taillights must be discernible at 150 meters. If they're not, you expect tickets. Not to mention the fact that you're talking about taillights. So if you're doing something to prevent them from functioning properly and you get rear-ended, it may very well turn out that you are more responsible for your collision than you may have thought. Loaned my car to the neighbor and they hit someone and refused to fix my car. What can I do? Well, first of all, hopefully never loan your car to anybody again. You can sue them. You can sue them for having damaged the vehicle. That's a private case. You can go through your insurance, which is probably what you're going to have to do anyway. But if it doesn't make sense to use your insurance for whatever reasons you determine it's more expensive, it's a really personal question, but you can definitely sue them. They damaged your vehicle. Were they the ones at fault? That's a big question. Might want to get some legal advice. Is chameleon tint legal if more than 70% of the UV passes through? Is chameleon tint illegal if 70? So chameleon tint is reflective. You can't have reflective tint on the windshield. We can't have any tint on the windshield, but you can't have it on the driver or passenger window on the front seat because it prevents people from seeing inside. So it's still illegal, regardless of how much light gets through. Are tire chains legal in Ontario? No. Tire chains, I don't think they're legal anywhere in Ontario. Studded tires are legal in certain areas of northern Ontario, but tire chains, I don't believe, are legal anywhere. Yeah, certainly can't drive around in southern Ontario with them. I don't think they're legal anywhere, though. What driver's license do I need as a tourist with an international driver's license? You need a driver's license allowing you to drive the same class of vehicle in your home country. So if you're allowed to drive a sedan, you can drive a sedan here in most cases. And you need, if it's not in English, your driver's license, then you need to have an international driver's permit which translates it. We have to be able to check it. Now, how do we do this? What is the way for you to get all the information to make sure that your jurisdiction is supported? Is this going to work? I changed something here. It's so weird. Oh, this is even better. Okay. If you go to TrafficCop.ca, and you should all go to TrafficCop.ca, you can get to all sorts of links. Follow us on all our social media platforms, but you can also scroll to our useful links page. And this is where it is for you in particular. All the way at the bottom, new residents and visitors driving in Canada. Oh, you can't see that yet. New residents and visitors driving in Canada. If you click on this page, and I'll have to change this here. Stand by, driving in Canada. I don't like this new default. Okay. Yeah, on this page, it explains everything you need to know. Hey, look at this. If you have a valid license from your home country, you'll probably be able to use this to drive in Canada for a short time after you arrive. This is if you are moving here, but you got to double check and make sure they accept it. Get your IP from your home country. It gives a translation of your license into French and English. See, you need that. It has to be issued by your home country. And it goes on to the individual details in each province. So I invite you to look at that on your own time. Because I'm sure not everybody wants to know about this stuff, but it is good stuff to know for everybody. Everyone should know this stuff. If you're traveling elsewhere outside of the country, it's important that you know that you can go to CAA and get an international driver's permit to accompany your license, which is really just a translation card. Okay. Is it legal to put your license plate at your windshield rather than your bumper? No, it's not. The OREG, the Ontario regulation, really is pretty specific as to where your license plate must be, and that is to be in a conspicuous place on the front of the vehicle. Now, not facing front, the front. And that means it's your front bumper, your front grille, the front of your vehicle. Your windshield is like 30 to 50% behind the front bumper, towards the middle of your vehicle, and then it's obscured by a piece of glass, the windshield. Not only is it an obstruction, but and not mounted properly, so it's obstructed and it's not mounted in the correct place. It is also dangerous because, amazingly, when you get into a collision, it becomes the Ontario Shuriken. Ninja Star from when I was a kid, in every television show, every ninja show that I loved and watched, everyone wanted a Ninja Star. Well, a license plate becomes a very dangerous piece of flying metal. It's a projectile within your vehicle and is somewhat sharp. So don't do that. You don't want that. And it's illegal. $110 ticket. What's the weirdest infraction you've seen or heard of in a school zone, or have you ticketed a bus? Specifically a school zone? Sleigh bells is the weirdest charge I've ever heard of, period. Apparently Snapchat tells me I have friends on Snapchat, being harassed by Snapchat. Or it's pure scam, I can't decide. Anyway, I don't know about weird. I mean, school zone stuff. I mean, anyone who's driving and is eligible or worthy of a ticket in a school zone. I mean, I've followed people in school zones as they run multiple stop signs while they're on their telephone, while they're like just absolutely carelessly driving. And I've charged all of them for those things whenever I've seen it, because I like to spend time, or used to like to spend time, in the school zones, because, we believe that children are our future. Anyway, there's a whole lyric set that goes out of that. I talk about that a lot. Whitney Houston has become part of my regular routine. Anyway, for that, I remember one person was a sushi delivery guy, and I followed them through all those stop signs, although I had to stop for them because I don't get to run stop signs, and neither do they, but they got tickets for all of them. Anyway, have I ever ticketed a bus? I have ticketed a bus. Okay, so criminal intelligence. uh, the Grinch says, so criminal intelligence analysis. I could say I work for the CIA, and no one can verify it, I guess. All right, Chase is back. Haven't seen you. Were you here on Friday? I feel like you weren't here. All right. If you were ever on side roads by provincial highways, make sure to take note of the yellow EDR signs. They represent predetermined routes to help you bypass an emergency highway closure to minimize delay. Oh, that's interesting. I don't have a visual reference to think about, but that sounds like good advice. Chase usually has really good advice. All right. You know you're Canadian when you say you're sorry for being late to a live stream. This is true. Is it possible to tint front windshield in Ontario? The answer is no. I mean, it's possible that people do it, and then it's also illegal, so they get ticketed. Not only is it illegal, but it makes your vehicle an unsafe vehicle, so we have two options. You either peel the tint out of the window roadside, or you lose your license plates and you get towed to your next destination. Okay, here we go. Why do police often charge people immediately saying let the courts figure it out? For example, the Milton Home shooting, self-defense, he was charged at the scene when there was no time limit murder charge. Generally speaking, they arrest people immediately, and then they determine if they have grounds to they have grounds for the investigative purpose for the arrest, and then if they actually process and lay charges once it gets to the detectives. But we're not in the habit of having people shoot other people and then not arresting them and saying we'll figure it out and maybe we'll charge you. If it's something like that, we're gonna arrest you, we're gonna process you, and then we're gonna make a determination. Now, there were obviously grounds to lay those charges, and then there was a determination that they had no reasonable prospect of conviction, which is different. But that's my on-the-fly take on that. I was expecting a traffic thing, and for traffic stuff, we lay charges based on what we see. What is this? Selling a car that is in an estate process. You cannot sell it until it is completed. You have to be through probate, from what I understand. You need to have, in most cases, a lawyer create a document that will allow you to transfer the ownership. Usually. If someone is in your family and they're ill and they own vehicles and property, it's probably a good idea to take those things out of the equation by having them transfer those items into other people's names before they pass away. It just makes it easier. Otherwise, you're stuck with a vehicle that's not only depreciating, but costing you money for insurance potentially, and you can't really do anything with it. So it's the estate can continue to pay insurance. It can maintain license, but anyway, that's going down the rabbit hole. Is it illegal when you don't turn into the closest lane to you? Yes. So a proper turn, a proper and safe turn for left would be turning into the leftmost lane when you're making a right turn into the rightmost lane, curb to curb. If you don't, it's an improper turn, and it's a ticket. I believe it's $110. Tea time. Radek wants to know. Good morning. Good morning. Since the Highway Traffic Act does not apply to private property, why are fines imposed for parking on fire routes on those properties? So, I'm glad you asked. First of all, the Highway Traffic Act does apply on private property for certain charges, not all charges. When you talk about parking, accessible permit parking, fire routes, those are things that are absolutely enforceable, not under the Highway Traffic Act, but under bylaw. Different charges, different reasons for being. But that's why. Fire access is a big thing. There's so many charges related to that. Can we get ticketed for lane splitting in stop and go traffic? Yes, you can. Lane splitting is not permitted. It is not that it is very specific. It is not specific to lane splitting. There's no lane splitting charge. It's careless driving, stunt driving, or criminal dangerous driving, depending on what the officer believes is the appropriate charge based on the observations they've made. Okay, more tea is needed. Oh, by the way, I've got a special guest. This is going to be a 2-guest episode. In about 15 minutes, we have a friend of mine joining us. His name is Joseph, and you're going to want to see the segment with him. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service, and I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff all the time, even when I'm sick. My voice is weird. But I talk about this because I'm a traffic cop. I work at Toronto Police Traffic Services, and this thing that we do is all for you. We're here to try and demystify the Highway Traffic Act. Yeah, we're here to make everything better, at least to make it more understandable. Because, listen, I don't know everything. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. And it's not an easy read. Not only do you have to read the Highway Traffic Act, but you have to read the regulations, and then you need to read the bylaws, and then you need to understand how they all played it well together. So sometimes it's confusing, even for us. But we talk about it a lot amongst our colleagues and our friends, and then we give you the boiled down, easy peasy, you know, understandable tidbits, so you can make better choices. Because ignorance of the law is no defense of it. So if you are doing something because you didn't know any better, you still get charged. Dr. Nick wants me to do more TikToks on police cars you have, like you never do any close-ups with the Chargers. You know what? I usually don't leave my office, or at least not the second floor, or very rarely, because sometimes I go downstairs, but that's way down. No, I'm usually busy with other things, and I'd love to do more stuff out on the road and do some stuff with cars. They're all doing police work. They're very rarely available for me to go play with. But food for thought, I will try and do more car stuff, because we have cool cars. Is Vin Diesel's real name vehicle identification number Diesel? It's very, very possible. I think we should ask. They have a TikTok? Maybe that's the subject of a TikTok. Why did TPS, what is this? Why did TPS take the key on my motorcycle at a traffic stop without even saying hi? Depending on what your behavior was up until then, likely to prevent you from running away. That tends to be a thing people try and do, and it's much safer to turn off your engine and not allow you to run away. Yeah, we have a big problem with people on motorcycles, and if you're displaying certain behaviors, if your license plate's tucked, you're providing indicators that suggest that you might be a person who runs from the police. And just in general, if you fold your plate, we assume you're looped in with a whole bunch of people who speed and carry on in a very negative way on the road, making it unsafe for people in general. Don't be that person. Like, pull over, take your helmet off, show that you're stopping. And probably no one's going to have a problem with you. I don't know what else. I'd love to know more about your stop. If my driver's license got suspended, how long does it take to process through your system? So if it's suspended, it's instant the moment we suspend. So if we're the ones suspending you with an administrative suspension, it's instantaneous. If it was suspended based on a court proceeding, usually it's deemed to have been suspended, I believe, 7 days. It's been a while, but I think it's 7 days. So it depends. It depends on the situation. If you're talking about when it was suspended, you want to know how long does it process to become unsuspended? Well, the time has to elapse, and at that point, you'd have to then attend a ministry location and pay the reinstatement fee to reinstate your license. All right, Stephen Bell says, my sister-in-law had to slam on her brake because a car almost blew the stop sign. That driver backed up and hit another car. Let me try adding some punctuation here. My sister-in-law had to slam on her brake because a car almost blew the stop sign. That driver backed up and hit another car. Oh, okay. So they ran it, and then in realization of the fact that they had done that, they put it in reverse and rear-ended or front-ended by backing. Yeah. Ugh, that sounds terrible. People who are not paying attention are not paying attention in either direction, apparently. Anonymous. Can you share your screen, section 172 stunt? It doesn't say burnouts are illegal. It says losing traction while turning. A stationary burnout is not mentioned. Please show me. You need to go look at the actual page for stunt. I wonder if I have a link for that here. But there's a giant list, because if you look at the HTA, no, it doesn't give you a lot of detail. So stunt driving, HTA. Let's see here. OREG 455/7. And I can put this on screen. getting used to this new style. So that's where you start getting into all the details. Driving two or more vehicles at a rate of speed that in marked departure of the lawful state, blah, 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 blah. Driving a motor vehicle, blah, blah, blah. Stunt. Motor vehicle in a manner that indicates an intention to lift some or all of its tires from the surface of the highway. Not even actually having the tires, just an intention. Driving a motor vehicle in a manner that indicates an intention to cause some or all of its tires to lose traction with the surface of the highway while turning. That's your drift. Driving a motor vehicle in a manner that indicates intention to spin or cause it to circle without maintaining control over it. That's tire to spin or cause it to circle. Spin. That's it. There's your definition. It specifically says burnouts are illegal. That's your burnouts are illegal. Two or more vehicles side by side, person trunk, person, all sorts of wonderful stuff. There you go. Burnouts are illegal. And then you can disagree with that, but that's my interpretation with what I just read. Oh, dad jokes. We got dad jokes for the end of the show. Awesome. Why is car theft so low a priority? We catch someone and recover 10 cars when thousands are stolen. We have people that focus on catching thieves, but it's not the entire police service that is dedicated to catching thieves. We have people who are going and looking for all sorts of things. We have different pockets of officers. We have to distribute the talent that we have, the available resources that we have to cover everything, because everything's important. But car theft is lower than violent crime, right? Like when we have to have officers available to respond to a violent crime. We can't put all the officers on car theft. We have to spread it around, and it's spread pretty thin because we don't have enough officers in general to do everything all the time. But it is an unfortunate situation that we have such blatant criminal behavior in general, not just car theft. Yeah. And we'd love to see, also, I'd love to see the courts hammer the people that are being brought before them for those that are guilty, obviously. Is it legal to have your tires sticking way out of the body and the side of the truck? No, you can't have, your tires have to be covered by a fender, a flare, a mud flap. It can't just be out there. And we see a lot of illegal vehicles. And like tint and like so many other offenses, we have not enough officers to deal with every single violation. Otherwise, we'd pretty much stop every single car all the time. In fact, if I had a day of just going out to play and just picking out all of the minor stuff, we'd be ignoring all the major stuff because we'd be focused on the minor stuff, of which I would be forever doing paperwork because I see 100 cars every day on my way to work, and I would stop. I think it's fair to say about 100 cars between back and forth. Maybe that's higher depending on the day. But I would pull over each and every one of those based on the fact that I have major traffic violator OCD. Like I see everything. I talk about it with my family, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, wow, you see everything." I think I'm a traffic man. I see everything, and I would ticket everything. There's no. I would not give anyone a break on clear violations that should never have been put on the vehicle in the first place. Is rapid acceleration illegal, but you still go to the posted limit? Yes, it is. It is illegal. It could be careless. It could be stunt. It could be dangerous driving, which is criminal. It depends. It really depends. It's what the officer sees and interprets. Seen videos of foreign drivers bumping protesters, blocking road, charges if it happens. You can't hit someone with your car. Is it frustrating that somebody decides their protest means that you can't get to work? Yeah, call the police. That becomes a police matter. Take a different route. I can't even get into that. It'll frustrate me too much to talk about this. So what Sean is saying is gamer talk. Yes, indeed. I have to touch grass more. Joseph. Hey, Sean, see you in a few minutes. I have some traffic questions for you. Joseph de Benedictus is my guest coming in about 4 minutes. And I'm glad that you're bringing traffic questions because that's awesome. We're going to be talking about his new YouTube video, which is currently live on his channel, and you got to watch it. I watched it in theater on the big screen. It was amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. While driving behind a truck on Highway 401, small piece of rock hit my mirror. Who was liable? Technically, if the big truck sent it and you have the information from the truck on a dash cam possibly to put it all together, they would be liable. If it came off of their truck. If it was on the ground, that's a different story. It depends. But if you can clearly articulate and tie that all together, preferably with a dash cam, it's potential that they'd be responsible. I say potential because nothing is 100%. You can ask and someone would say no. But from where I'm sitting, they damaged your vehicle. It fell off the vehicle because it didn't secure a load properly. They're clearly responsible. Oh, Frank. Michael L. says, good morning, Constable. I have been listening to your podcast recently, and I think that a great guest would be Frank from Arizona. Yes. So we talked about this last week. I agree 100%. Fridays with Frank, I think he would be a great guest. And I think I said on Thursday or Friday that I would reach out to them and try and make that happen. So that is still something that I'm going to try and make happen. What happens if you're a G1 driver and you drive in an emergency, driving someone to the hospital? If that person is a licensed, if the passenger beside you is a licensed G who is sober and can supervise you, then that's legal, as long as you're following all the laws. If they're not supervising you and you are not a licensed driver because you're just a G1 and you're not being supervised, you can't. So you call 911 and you get direction from them. You're not a licensed driver. You're not insured when you're driving, when you're not being properly supervised. You're obviously going to do whatever you're going to do. Just know that when you hurt someone and you may not actually get to the hospital, you're also not covered by insurance. It's a lot of bad that can come from it. Plus, you'd lose your license because you'd be charged for driving in violation of a condition. Like, it's just all around a bad idea. Yes. See, it was the other Michael who suggested it. Michael L. and Michael H. both talking about good ideas. Let's see here. With a G and an M2, am I able to have a BAC over 0 in a car? Yes, if you are 22 years old and with a G license, despite the fact that you have an M2, you are able to have a BAC over 0. I'm going to quickly go in here, and we're going to, because I have a guest, and you're welcome to keep asking questions. I'll try and get them, but I have a guest. It's Joseph. We're going to bring him in just a second. And just know that if you've got questions, I'll stick around a little longer to try and get the ones that come in before 11. Okay. Devil's advocate, Chase P. Yes. He's playing games. Okay. I ain't got time for that. But I get what you're saying. Funny. You're a funny man. Can I ride my friend's motorcycle if I have my M2, but I don't have my own motorcycle registered? Yes, if you're a licensed M2 rider, you can ride and borrow somebody's licensed and insured motorcycle. Add me to the Frank as a guest list, okay? When purchasing a used vehicle, you're allowed to put your plate onto that vehicle and bring it home. If your plate is not attached to another vehicle, it's not I mean physically attached, I mean attached in the system. You've sold your vehicle, you now have plates that are valid but not attached, you're good to go. The rules of the road, general rules of the road are same everywhere, but they're not, but usually it's equipment differences. And for instance, you can't cross over a solid line in other provinces. You can get a ticket. Here you can't. All right. Without further ado, hello, sir.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. I don't know if you've got the setting down to highest resolution, but if you hit the gearbox underneath your thing, you might be able to get some higher res out of that. We still see you.
Okay. Oh, yeah, look at that. There we go.
We might be able to improve it a little bit.
There we go. How about that?
All right. Oh, you look much better.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm great. Great. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. This is my basement, really.
Well, for everyone who is watching and has no idea why you're here, Joseph is a filmmaker, a YouTuber, a TikToker, and a friend of mine. I recently attended. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of awards back there because you also like have been actually what do they call it? You've been recognized.
Sure. Yeah.
for stuff and things.
For stuffing things, exactly. Yeah, I could tell you right now. I used to work for the Buffalo Bills and Sabres doing their documentaries. Even though I live and am from Canada, but yeah, I used to drive across the border every day along QW for like an hour. But the beauty of it, there was no traffic going that way from Burlington, so it was clear. I was speed limit, yes, very very much the speed limit all the time. And but it was a great drive. And anyways, that's where these are all from. That's where kind
You
of
smuggle them across the border.
exactly, yeah. That was an interesting situation to have to just put them in the trunk and be like, "There's nothing there." No,
Yeah, no big deal. Are they heavy?
they're a bit heavy. Yeah. This crashed one night in the middle of the night. It collapsed. It was a terrifying night. We almost called you.
And they're not filled with chocolate, so
Unfortunately.
So the reason you popped in now, I invited you a while ago to come and talk about your new episode, but you create a lot of content, and
Yep.
a lot of that content is food related,
Yes.
and American versus Canadian food, because you have all this American experience.
Yep.
I got to say, I love the content. It makes me hungry, and we're actually going to grab a bite to eat soon.
Yes.
So
I'm
I'm
excited.
looking forward to that, because Wagyu beef, is it Wagyu steak officially? I don't know. I saw the TikTok. It said all you can eat Wagyu, so we're going to do that.
Can't wait.
More importantly, you just debuted a YouTube episode.
Yep.
And tell us about that, because
Yeah.
you basically raided a government building.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. So the episode is called "I Broke Into Justin Trudeau's Office," and that is true. So I brought originally I was supposed to bring my American friend to go and infiltrate Ottawa with him. He couldn't make it. I brought another friend who's been on your show before, the Canadian show, Adam, who came with me to help me get in. So we go to Ottawa, and we basically wanted to ask if we can make poutine a national food because. In fact, I have the shirt here, Fries, Cheese, Curds, Gravy. That's my whole MO. I want to bring people together through food, no matter what side you're on. So that was kind of my big thing. And the episode is our quest and journey and adventure to try to break in and literally knock on his office door and get in there. And if you go to my YouTube, it's just my name, Joseph Benedictus, you will find it and see what happened. It was a hell of a ride.
And there was food involved, and
yes.
And comedy and some karaoke, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, not in that episode. Actually, I did stand-up comedy in that episode, which took place of the karaoke, which I usually do for fun. That everyone that goes with me always hates. But yeah, no, I always try to eat locally there, or try the restaurants there wherever we go. We've done this all over. In a bunch of places in Canada. Went to Montreal, did poutine. We went to Sudbury, did porchetta. We went to Saskatchewan, Regina, and did their Regina pizza, which is really good. And went to Calgary, had their like Caesars and stuff where it was all invented. So we've done a bunch of these types of things where it's always kind of revolves around food, but there's always some sort of epic journey.
I gotta put this up on screen, because I just opened up your. It's real. I've never paid attention to your landing screen before. I watch the videos.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Yes.
Oh, the food.
It's everything food. That's awesome.
It's very much food. And how this happened, I lived in Buffalo for 3 years, but also worked there for 8 years. And, food is such an interesting thing anywhere you go. And then, of course, just across the border, Buffalo is a really great foodie town. If you didn't know, you probably have old thoughts about it, but go there now.
I grew up going there like every other weekend for shopping, and
there you go,
with my family and wings. And you just recently did an episode, which I've not watched, I have to admit, because I want to know which where you found the best chicken wings.
Yeah,
because I grew up thinking it was Duff's, Centauros, but and then Anchor Bar.
Yeah,
but who invented the wing?
Yeah,
Buffalo wing.
Now they're all good. You can get good wings wherever you go in Buffalo. But yeah, the previous episode that we released was just we went to 5 different places, and then the wing festival happening in Buffalo at the same time. So we got a lot. So we tried like too many wings that day. It was at the end of the day we were in a tough spot, but yeah, we named the best wing in Buffalo and pretty much nationally because everybody was there. It was quite an adventure. But yeah, you know, there's places that you would never know in Buffalo where to go to get the wings. So you got to watch that too.
Well, I'm going to watch the episode, and then did you have to get like special insurance? Do you have special insurance for your stomach?
No. I should. You're right.
Some people insure their hands, you know.
Right. I should. Yeah, a lot of people always like say like, how do you eat so much? Like, and I'm just, if you ever talk to my family, like that's how I've always been. I've always done very excited about food, eat a lot of it. Now I don't eat as much as I do in those videos all the time. You know, I film something and then you don't see it. I don't post it for a month. So, but then I post a lot of videos day to day on my Instagram and TikTok that are a lot of food stuff. But again, those videos I don't film those every day. But yes, it's good to know. I do eat a lot. I love food. But at the same time, people are always surprised of how not large I am compared to what you might think when you see me in person. People are, oh, you're more slender than I thought. I'm like, oh, thank you. That's very nice.
That's a good thing. I'm looking over here because we have a picture together somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I can't find. It's not on my account. I'm tagged in it, so that's why it's not coming up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're so much taller than I thought you would be.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Where's the picture? Okay.
Michael, hi Michael.
Picture.
Some of these people are saying greetings. That's nice. Yeah. So, anyways, the episode from Ottawa, which you came in and came to the theater premiere of it, which
yes.
Yeah. How was your drive? How was your drive over?
It was long. I didn't realize how I'm not an Oakville person, so it is a long drive. But it was worth the drive. I had Dole Whip.
Yes.
So I'd been having like no carbs for 2 weeks prior to attending. So I had popcorn and Dole Whip. It was a total and chocolate. You had tasting American chocolates.
Right.
So I did it all. I did not regret any of it, and I would do it again. But yeah.
It was. I appreciate you coming. Yeah, we had a great time, and you had some great questions for me during the Q&A too, and I have some questions for you here now.
You got questions? Let's have some questions. We can bring some traffic into this.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you've talked about it before. I haven't heard you talk about it, but what's your thoughts on the Waze app and how you can report where everyone is?
Police are.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
So many people think that it's similar to a radar detector because, well, we're there, so we must be doing speed enforcement. In many respects, it's a help to tell people that we're there because that's our office. We're working, and we want people to slow down in general. So if we're there getting coffee or we're getting, investigating something, or it's whatever the reason, having us either routing people away from us or being aware that they should be cautious is actually a good thing. It's different than a radar detector because a radar detector would actually be measuring or reading the radar waves or signal and then responding, and that is specifically to prevent people from getting caught for speeding. So that's whether it be a jammer or a radar detector, that's actually illegal,
right?
And a different category. And that's a no-no because that's people who are actively trying to find ways to break the law and be dangerous on our roads.
Yeah, no. Waze is definitely just other people reporting. Hey, there's somebody here. You should probably slow down. But yeah, if it is, I guess it makes sense. It's a help for you to it helps people to slow down and aware, and so people know that you're around. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Looking at it from the driver, it's like, okay, I'm going to slow down because I don't want to get a ticket.
Well, and whatever ultimately works. I mean, if it does help you remind people because you get an alert, police ahead, that's great. Someone who actually invests in a prohibited device like a radar detector or a jammer, that's going up to the next level, and that's actually something where we can search your vehicle and all the person's in the vehicle, and it's a big deal. Waze we don't mind, but don't be typing on your phone on Waze to go report people because that's actually an offense under the HDA.
Right.
So. But I'll tell you, when I was doing speed enforcement and my own phone told me that I was spotted as police ahead, I thought I was famous. It was well before I was a social media thing. So that was really good for me. I was like, oh my God, I screenshot it. I have my police are here as my first time being identified on Waze.
That's great. So no one's none of the police are looking at the Waze and trying to move so that you hidden from where it was reported or maybe.
I will say this, that I very often will say that police are not there.
Okay, I see.
If I counter report very often. If I see that they're doing speed as opposed to an investigation, I might say they're not there.
Yeah,
I might mess with the algorithm.
I love that. I think if I were a police officer, I would do the same. So that's question 2. What's the with excessive noise from cars? Do you is that something that can easily be ticketed if you hear it? It's like, oh, you just stop, but you just choose you choose where to do that, I suppose.
So unnecessary noise is the charge, and it could be your horn, your stereo, your exhaust system, and people get really really defensive. Like I have a video that's done crazy numbers because people are offended by the fact that we write these tickets, and I think that it's not about you playing Barbra Streisand too loud. It's about the fact that you're filling the entire street and sharing your tunes with the world who may not appreciate it, like the baby sleeping, the person working from home.
Oh yeah.
It's not just making like perspective. What is loud? It's different for everybody. We're talking earth-shattering loud.
Yeah.
Pumping. You see those stereo systems where all the windows are vibrating because of the bass.
Yeah.
There's nobody who likes that except the person in the car.
Right.
And even if you say, "Wow, respect," that's loud. Like that respect goes from respect to hate very quickly.
Totally.
And the fart can exhaust systems that sound like your car is broken, but people do it on purpose. Nobody likes that.
No.
Except the person who thinks they're cool.
Exactly. So that's really where I'm at. So there's a place. I can tell you, people, you can write a lot of tickets in this one area. If you send somebody Rutherford Road near the airport, it's like 40 kilometers an hour. It's very slow, but like every time I visit, because my dad lives there right on the street, it's like a parade. Within an hour, there's like 2 or 3 just like so loud, and like
it's amazing.
So like you get someone there, you're gonna hit the whatever quota you need.
Well, unfortunately, it's fortunately or unfortunately, there's no quota, and I'll borrow a line from Eric Estrada in Chips. I don't know if it was 70, what year in the 70s that he used the line, but he said when accused of having a quota, he says, "No, I asked my sergeant, and he told me I can write as many as I'd like." and I always aimed for numbers that were high.
Of course.
It was always a personal thing, not a quota that was ever imposed onto me. But
Gotcha.
if I could write more tickets, that meant I was making the streets more safe.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Your personal quota is what I think. Yeah, your personal, like, just wanting to make things safe. It makes perfect sense. All right, last question. What's the official ruling on turning left? You wait for everybody to stop, and the light turns red, and then you go. Is that bad?
So if you are in the intersection, you've entered the intersection on the green, you are legally obligated to clear that intersection even after it turns red.
Okay.
So you can't just sit there and wait because now you're obstructing traffic. You're blocking everybody. So if it turns red and you've entered it legally on the green, you still have to clear it. And
okay.
If it's not safe until that time, then so be it.
Okay, I feel a lot better now. Actually, that's very important for me because that happens all the time.
That's where you live in that box.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I really had. That's great. I've been sitting on those forever to ask.
Well, I'm glad that I could be of service, and I hope that that people are now just chomping at the bit to see what the inside of Justin Trudeau's office looks like.
Yes, exactly.
That you managed to like that. That's not a spoiler, is it? Is that a spoiler? Did I spoil it?
No, because the title of the video is I broke into Justin Trudeau's
office.
Yeah, so. You just need to see how it happened and what happened when.
And now a serious question, and we talked about it briefly, but you were in Ottawa.
Yep.
Best food item in Ottawa.
Oh yeah, there's so much good food we had. The most unique and interesting one was the egg rolls.
Yes.
Golden Palace.
World's best.
At least Canada's best. They won in like November last year, like the best egg roll in Canada. And they were not at all what I expected. When I saw them, they're like burnt edges. And anyways, it was like nothing I've ever had before in an egg roll. It was perfect. It wasn't like the Mandarin egg rolls, which I always love, but like you bite into it and like it breaks off and like there's not a mess and it's just it's so good. Anyways, Golden Palace. If you ever go to Ottawa, it's just before, like, not downtown core.
I'm going there. I'm going there very soon. Actually, I'm going to the police memorial there.
Perfect. It's on your way in. So, yeah, you got to try it. It's wonderful.
Chase is a regular participant in our live streams, and he says, "Hey, it's the guy who made me drive an hour and a half to try the American Kit Kats."
Oh. Wow, that's right. Yeah, we did one of our videos. It's TikTok videos. We compared U.S. versus Canada Kit Kat because they're made by different companies. Hershey makes them in the U.S. and here is Nestle, and there's a taste difference, and even the logo is a little different. It's weird why that is. It's a rights or thing, licensing. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to
It's
me.
weird stuff. I have a funny, well, an interesting connection to Kit Kat and Coffee Crisp.
Oh.
My grandmother worked for Roundtree.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh,
once
wow.
upon a time, before it was Nestle, it was Roundtree.
Yeah, no way. Wow. So did you get like samples?
I got cases of it. I had cases of it.
Oh my goodness, the coffee, yeah, because you can't get the coffee crisp in the U.S. Every time I'd go to Buffalo, I'd bring like a bunch. They'd be gone in a second because everybody in my office was like loved them, but they could never get them there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was the other thing I was going to tell you? There was something else. It'll come to me. We have a dad joke.
Let's
something
see
we do at the end of towards the end of episodes, and I figure we share them with you. What do you call it when a prisoner takes his own mugshot? A selfie.
All right.
Okay, I think there's another dad joke, but I'm going to go back to the questions. Once we wrap, I'll answer. So unless you want to be part of these questions,
I would love to.
Okay. So this is just an interesting question. How come my landlord uses different address for their car insurance? Is that legal? False information. What do you think? What is the?
Use a different. Probably. I think that's fine. I don't know.
So technically speaking, the insurance company wants to know where your vehicle is and where you're going to be driving it. They determine the cost of your insurance based on the information you provide them. If you're giving them false insurance, that's kind of fraud, especially when it's done with the intention of getting lower rates. So
I see.
Not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Well, I have because when I was under my dad's insurance for a while, even though I didn't live at that address, but like, yes, you get a break on the insurance because you're whatever. So I did have that. Is that not good? I mean, I think that's just what you do.
I think that if the vehicle is registered there and it's owned there and you're borrowing the car and you're listed on the policy,
yeah,
you're doing it above board.
Okay.
If you're doing it like there's people who register vehicles in other provinces because they have a mailing address there and then they never go there except to renew stuff. That's absolutely. So it's going to be, the insurance companies are not going to like it. And remember, they may deny your claim. That's a big thing.
Right. That's, yeah.
They hold all the cards. If I get a seatbelt ticket as a passenger, will it hit my driving record? If you are a passenger, you don't get points, but you do get a ticket. Will it hit your driving record? I don't know about a passenger. I wish I had a better answer. I don't know. As a driver, obviously it will. That's why there's demerit points. But passenger, I don't think you can say no vehicle involved. It's involved. You're just not driving it. I don't have an answer for you on that one.
I don't think I can drive or get into a car without putting a seatbelt on naturally. So,
and I don't know how anyone drives, but the ding,
yeah,
ding,
right.
Ding, that's just unbelievably
annoying. Yeah,
I don't get it. Here's a dad joke, courtesy of Zombie. What did Yoda say when he saw himself in 4K? HDMI. HDMI. Got it. Has to be HDMI. It has to be in voice. I don't think that was actually Yoda. I think that was maybe another character. The wrong pitch. Anyway, I love it. Zombie always provides entertainment by. I forgot that. That was good.
There it is.
HDMI. Yeah. Okay. Why are license plate covers illegal? Are you down on the license plate frame discussion?
I've seen that's a thing that people mention. Yeah. Why are they illegal? Because you can't see it, I guess.
It obscures the driver's license. The license plate frame obscures parts of the license. People do the darndest things. They are, we have people put paper like photocopies of licenses.
Genius.
We see wild things, but more often than not, tinted license plate covers that either refract light in a way to prevent cameras from seeing, like polarization. There's all sorts of creative ways of avoiding detection, and people do some of that intentionally, and sometimes they just get license plate frames provided by the dealership, and people don't see their plates, and that's what happens.
That's great.
So
I always go back to when people ask about illegal things or like that. I always go back to that scene in Liar Liar where Jim Carrey he asks his friend on the phone, asks for legal advice, and he says, "Quit breaking the law."
yeah,
that's
yeah,
it. That's the answer.
You know, so often I put out messaging that could be translated down to that, and I see those comments I see comments in my videos of quoting that exact liar liar section. It's brilliant. I can't say it,
No,
but it really is the answer. If you don't want tickets, don't break the law. Life gets a lot easier.
that's it.
But part of what we do here is trying to make the law easier to understand, because we get that it doesn't always make sense to everybody. And then we have these great conversations, because way back in the chat we were talking about burnouts, and someone said that an officer said that an officer told them that burnouts were legal. That'll be up to the court to determine whether or not they agree with me or agree with that officer. I would still lay the charges. In fact, burnouts damage the road, and we used to charge based on the length of the skid mark for damages to the city. So it's absolutely illegal, whether or not you want to argue it is
Interesting.
Yeah. So so we go to your account, which is Joseph D.
Yep.
And or Joseph_video.
That's Instagram and Twitter is at Joseph_video, and then YouTube is my name or at Joseph D, and then TikTok's just my full name.
Yes, and if you go and watch the video and you do the whole subscribe and thumbs up and comment thing, which would be very nice.
It would be nice.
Put a comment that you found them, you found the video because of us, just as an experiment.
I will. If I see them, I will like, love, and say awesome. I give you a comment back for sure, because that's so cool.
Comments.
I read all of the comments, so
which is fantastic.
Yeah.
What was there something else? We'll have to create a video while we're out test driving this new steak.
Oh, totally! I cannot wait. That's going to be a great dinner.
Now, are you going to prepare? Are you going to starve yourself for the week before, or are you going to eat to make room?
Yeah, no, you got to eat more to expand. So I just won't eat as much during that day. Like I'll eat my normal. So I have just yogurt in the morning now. That's all I have. Like 3 spoons of yogurt with some seeds or something, and that's my breakfast. And I eat a little bit at lunch. And then dinner, we sometimes have those meal kits that come. So they're well balanced meals, and they're not a ton. So yeah, I'll eat my normal, and the coffee, of course. And you have tea there.
This is my first tea, but I've had a coffee already. I had some water, and that's it. And I will likely not eat anything until dinner time, because I'm trying this whole. I want to say that it's what's it called? Fasting? Not fasting. It's intermittent fasting. Yeah.
Yep.
There's titles for that. It seems to work really nicely. I'm not even hungry.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
But I'm not hungry until I smell food.
That's true.
And then everything changes.
Then I'll breaks loose. I will say the way I did it, when I lived in Buffalo for the first year, I gained 25 pounds immediately, because the food was great, and we had free lunches, buffets, and then I was living alone at the time, because my wife was we were still in Toronto, so I was alone like a bachelor, and I was just it was terrible. Anyways, eventually all I did was I ate the same stuff. I just calorie counted and stayed under a certain amount. I mean, it doesn't work for everybody, but for me, and then I mixed it with playing some sports. I didn't go to any gym. And I lost 60 pounds.
Wow.
It was but I ate still what I wanted. I just ate less overall, and I was.
What things that I miss in Buffalo? Chi-Chi's?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been there.
What?
I don't know.
It's gone now. It's a distant memory. But
Maybe
Chi-Chi's and so Mexican food and deep fried ice cream.
Wow.
I used to like deep fried ice cream. I think it was more ice cream that was rolled in like granola or something.
Oh wow.
Some kind of, and then it was drizzled with caramel. It was really good.
That sounds wonderful.
And what else? There was then there was, of course, Olive Garden. We lost the last Olive Garden.
Yes, the Olive Garden. Is it not there? It's in Buffalo, right?
I think it's in the States. So whenever I'm in the States, I go there with this memory of magic, and then I'm disappointed.
Of course,
it really
it's
wasn't
terrible.
as good as
It's terrible compared to what your memory of it was.
Of course.
It's just
but yeah,
so many better places.
Last time I was in Florida last December, I think, and I had Olive Garden.
Yeah. It's like East Side Mario's, it's like it's fine. It is good. But if you're gonna go to Buffalo, like, and people every time they say, oh, I just went to Buffalo, went to Olive Garden, I'm like, no, there's so many great restaurants there that are like mom and pop, locally owned, that are incredible.
Best one? What's the best one?
The one I always liked was called Hardware in Allentown. It's on Allen Street. I used to live there. It's just like 4 minutes up from downtown is where like Buffalo really begins. Anyways, Allentown near Elmwood Village. It's a place called Hardware. Like amazing menu, and like gourmet chefs, and it's well priced. Like it's not crazy expensive.
All
That
right.
whole strip of actually Allen Street is lots of great restaurants, but Hardware is where I love.
I've never been. I love Jim's Steakout though.
Yeah, that's also on. There's one there on Allen Street too. That is a good one, but that's also a chain. That's also a chain.
It's a chain, for
but
sure.
it's good. People do love it there. It's Buffalo will always back.
And Loganberry.
Is that the drink?
It's a drink.
Yes.
Loganberry. Yes, that's a Buffalo. That's a Pepsi product in Buffalo that is
Right.
only available in Buffalo.
That's right. Actually, in one of our episodes, I went to my American friend's house for Thanksgiving. There's a whole episode where I go and like experience American Thanksgiving. Yeah, we actually had some of that Loganberry in there.
And you can get Loganberry in one place in Toronto, and that's Duff's.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yes.
So that is the difference is that the meat and everything is a little different
Yes.
in the chains here and the ones there. So although the Anchor Bar in Hamilton the wings were pretty good.
I forgot that they have one here.
Yeah, it's right next to the it's connected to the Levity Comedy Club, which I'd go do stand up on usually. That's usually my home base in Hamilton. It used to be Yuck Yucks, but now it's there. And yeah, so the wings they serve those Anchor Bar wings at this comedy club. So it's quite fantastic.
I may have to come join just for the wings.
There you
I
go.
mean the comedy too.
Of course.
I'm so glad that you were able to join me. Everyone,
thank you.
go check out his video. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed watching it.
Thank you.
Politics aside,
Yeah.
it was a fun episode to watch.
Thank you. I hope time well spent and bringing people together through food, through poutine, through whatever, Tim Hortons.
I didn't actually. The one thing we didn't mention is you had two basic missions or things you wanted to propose.
Yes, that's right.
So that's a big important kind of thing to talk about in the premise of the video.
That's right. We wanted to make poutine a national food because there is no national food in Canada. So that was what we wanted to ask the MPs that we met. We met the Minister of Tourism, who kind of actually ended up touring us around Ottawa and then helping us get into the office. And also we wanted to declare a national Foodie Day. Instead of foodie, I've called it Food A, the Canadian with a curiosity of food. In fact, there's shirts. We got shirts made for it. That was actually, there was a third thing, but the third thing was to bring back the old Tim Hortons lids, if we can get them to mandate that, because I always love the old lids. Anyways, I can take a deep dive into
one of my very first videos on my personal YouTube account from 100 years ago is Spill Prooficity, and it was a tip that a friend of mine had for dipping the lid. Instead of bending it back, he bent it in, so that it wouldn't spill and still allow you to drink. I'll send you a link because it's a great video.
I got to see that.
It really wasn't a great video.
But I'll try it. I got to push it in and see if it
I'm going to send you a link. All right.
Awesome.
People are like, why are they still talking? Can they go home? Have you ever heard the traffic song? I don't know if you've ever tuned into the very end.
No, let's hear it.
We'll play the traffic song.
Helps the traffic flow. Watch for pedestrians, look out for bikes, and don't drive like a jerk that no one likes. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely is the way to go. Put down your cell phone, nobody needs you to text and drive on the DVP. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Stop at stop signs, look both ways, then go. Seatbelt, save your life indeed, and watch your driving. Don't speed. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely is the way to go. Don't drink and drive or smoke some weed, because you might go to jail and not get free. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely helps the traffic flow.
That was recorded live in studio here. A member of our Criminal Investigation Bureau, our detective office, came up and wrote and performed it, and it was awesome.
That's great. Well done.
I'm waiting for the full album of traffic songs in different styles, and
Oh,
I'd like the hard rock version of that.
Yeah. I love that.
There's so
That's-
much potential.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, Joseph, again, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck
Thank
with
you.
everything. I hope that you break the internet with your break into the PM's office.
Thank
and
you.
We'll have to have you back again to see how what your next big video is.
Yep. We'll see. We'll
Well-
keep on top of it.
And then, of course, we'll have to post the video of us eating soon. So
I can't wait. Couple weeks,
Awesome.
we'll be together.
yes, absolutely awesome. Well, listen, have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. And for everybody else who is watching, thank you so much for spending time with us. If you haven't already done it, please like, follow, subscribe, do all that stuff that you do, and we'll be back tomorrow to do it all again. So have a great day. Drive safe. Drive sober. Don't park illegally. I've already played all the music I need to play. I'll just say goodbye.